Alright, it was Thursday, now it's Friday. It's like 4:30 a.m. on Friday. I'm driving back to my Airbnb that I'm in for 3 nights. I'm pretty sure I played 11 hours and 11 minutes. I haven't added it up exactly yet, but pretty sure that's how much I played. I was at MGM first. Nothing great was going on. I went to Bally's. No, second stop was Venetian. Then third stop was Bally's. And then I went back to Venetian after all the games were over. And Venetian was pretty good the second time around. The best thing that happened today, which was actually pretty terrible, the first time I went to Venetian, I got sent to a table. A couple guys had just gotten up. So there were like a lot of empty seats. And we had 5 people when I got there. One guy says to the dealer, "Don't deal me in, I don't play 5-handed." Just so stupid. Like, he's allowed, but I can't stand when people do that. That was 5-handed though. I had someone say that once when we were 6-handed. This was when I used to live here. I think it was 2016. We were at Aria, and back then it was 9-handed, and we got down to 6-handed, which is fine. You're like 6-handed a lot of the time. And this guy, who said he was a linebacker for LSU in the 80s, says, "I don't play 6-handed." He stays at the table. He stays sitting there, but he tells the dealer, "I don't play 6-handed, don't deal me in." Okay, so we're 5. I'm still willing to play 5. This girl at the table says she doesn't want to play 5. She goes to the next table and stands next to her boyfriend, waiting for us to get more players. So we're 4. I'm still willing to play 4-handed. I'm in the 2 seat. There's a guy next to me in the 3, and there's 2 guys on the other side of the table in the 7 and the 8. The guys in the 7 and the 8, they stand up. And instead of just saying what was the truth, which is that they don't want to play 4-handed and they're going to wait for more people, they say to us, me and the guy next to me in the 3 seat, they say, "You guys don't want to play 4-handed, right? Let's just take a break until some more people show up." Me and the guy in the 3 were perfectly willing to play 4-handed. It wasn't that we were unwilling, it was that they were, but it was good that they made it sound like the exact opposite, so that they could walk away from the table. So we went from like 7-handed to 2 in like a minute, and we just sat there waiting for people to show up. So that kind of happened today at Venetian. It wasn't as egregious today, but that was terrible. These people are allowed to do that. I'm usually confused how they've made it this far in life, just being like that weak and inflexible. That confusion is usually what's bothering me when things like this happen. And something similar, as long as I'm talking about 6-max, kind of. A good version of 6-max, not, online, where someone raises someone 3 bets and the hand's over. In National Harbor, I played National Harbor summer 2018, and poker was fairly new to that area. So I think the tables were 9-handed. I don't think they were 10. I think they were 9-handed. I wanted to change tables. There was a gray table that had 1 seat open. My table had 2 seats open, so I shouldn't be allowed to move. But the floor was new, and I asked her specifically. There were a lot of floors. I asked her specifically because I figured she would say yeah, and she let me move. So I go to the table, I get my chips. The dealer somehow knew what I was doing. The only dealer in the world who wouldn't just think I'm picking up my chips to go home. He somehow knows I'm picking up my chips to change table to a table that has more players. So he says you can't do that. I say, I asked the floor said yeah, so, I'm gonna leave. He says again, I can't do it. People at the table start complaining that I'm leaving them short-handed. That's what they say. You can't leave us short-handed. I was leaving them 6-handed. And this was when I was living in Nebraska, playing poker in Council Bluffs on the weekends. So I told them, 6-handed isn't short-handed. You guys are really spoiled if you think 6 is short-handed. In Council Bluffs, we just don't have tables running anymore. We get down to the last table, we're full, we're 8-handed, we're 7. We get down to 2 people, and I play heads up until the dealer and the floor say we're not dealing heads up anymore, go home, because there's no other game in the state That's short-handed. You're six-handed with a ton of other tables going, and in 5 minutes you guys will be full. So just like, don't be spoiled for a few minutes. And then I just walked away and went to the table I wanted to play at. So there are a few of my best Six Max stories, and my arm is getting incredibly tired holding the camera up. So I played 11 hours today about, and tomorrow I actually have to be at Bally's at 9 a.m. I happen to play enough this week to get into their weekly free roll, so I got to be back there in like 4.5 hours, and even though I'll be incredibly tired, I should get a ton of hours in tomorrow also. So I'll see everybody next video.